Hi, welcome to Climbing Mountains in Heels. My name is Alex the Oceanaut.
And I'm Charlie Veggie Dice. I'm so glad you are here on our little YouTube video thing. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell icon so you can enjoy more of our content, and it helps us be able to reach more people. So tonight's topic is how not to be a puppet. You can watch or you can read for more in-depth um, article and stuff on my website, charlieveggiedice.com. And so we'll just get right to it. Alexandra, what do you think a puppet is?
See, there are so many different ways that I can see like being a puppet, but for the most part, it's somebody who's easily controlled or allows themselves to be controlled by another person. Somebody else is pulling the strings, and the puppet is doing exactly what the puppeteer, the person pulling the strings, wants them to do.
Agreed. Another way of looking at it and stuff is society and everything. Right now, we have so much input and we're trying to make everybody happy. It's really hard to find balance of our own voice versus others and distinguishing it and also sticking by it. So today we're talking about 5 ways that you can stop being a puppet. So the first way is to learn that it is okay to have boundaries for yourself and for others. What kind of boundaries do you like to set for yourself, Alexandra?
So this one is a very big like learning point for me because I don't set boundaries. That's my
Mhm.
problem personally. Um so basically if you thought of like a barrier around my body and everything like that, because I took a communication class and we talked about boundaries and different types of
Mhm.
people. I have a lot of holes in my barrier because I don't set them up. I always am willing to like go above and beyond, and I always try to please people first before thinking about myself. So by not setting those boundaries, I'm setting myself up for burnout or, a lot of high stress situations. That's my problem. So I think this year I'm trying to set more boundaries for myself, and it's still like a work in progress. It's going to take me like all year to set up boundaries and to ease into it because it's such a different aspect or a different concept for me.
Yeah, I completely get that and stuff. Setting up boundaries takes a very different mindset than what many of us are taught when we're kids. We're taught to do what our parents say without question. In society now and stuff, you should be questioning what other people are inputting to see if they are truly adding value to your life or are they adding stress and downfall to who you are or leading you down a path that you truly don't want to be on. Some of the boundaries and stuff I learned was like actually reinforcing what I'm most passionate about. So I'm vegan. The main thing and stuff is when people talk down about my diet. I personally don't care what anybody else eats. I am
Mm-hmm.
vegan for health reasons. So it's important for me to say, okay, you can eat what you eat. I'm going to eat what I eat because this is what I enjoy. This is how I feel healthy. Um, and those are boundaries that I'm comfortable setting. So, but you just got to take baby steps and
Yeah.
how. how to say no, because it's a really good thing to be able to say no to things that are just completely against your grain of who you are. So the next one is find a community that you fit in.
All right. Well, how do you find a community that you fit in, Charlie?
Well, I have you, thank God.
It's true.
But there's quite a few ways that you can find a community that actually fits you. Um, One of them is Meetup. It's a little app, and by no means are we sponsored or anything like that. But you're able to find events that you'd be interested in, and you find really cool people and interesting people that actually have different values than you, but also coincide and make you a better person. And that's the number one thing about community is finding where you fit in that actually helps you thrive and grow and not stunt your growth. And then another one, which I always thought it was just hocus pocus, oh my God, you're on TV, is go to the parks or get together with the other moms and stuff at your children's school. Because of the fact, like, when you're a mom, you end up living a different lifestyle than a lot of single people out there. And that is completely generalizing. But you have different values, and all moms have different values, but you'll be able to find someone that you actually connect to and who is trying to do the same thing with their little humans as you are. So it helps to reinforce that you have someone on your side and someone who is trying to cultivate the same thing in their household, but who might have a little bit of a different perspective on how to do so they can fill in the gaps that you might not be seeing. Okay,
Yeah.
so how do you find community?
I feel like this one, like this topic this week is just like it's really hitting like home and like all the weak points for me. So I obviously
Mhm.
have you, Charlie, and then I have our friend Lucy. I have a couple of other people, like, obviously I've got my family. Um, Sometimes they're not always the community that I need. So I don't really connect with other people all that much. I pretty much stay to myself. I'm very much a creature of habit. So for me, finding a community that I fit into is a little more difficult. I feel like it's easier when I'm at
Mhm.
work because I find people that I just click with. And then there are some people that I just don't know why we don't click. But then the more like we have interactions, I'm like, oh, that's why we don't. And that's why you're not part of my community.
Right.
I don't need you in my life.
And it's
So,
okay. So it might not be
yeah.
I don't need you in my life, but they
They're just on
might
a different
just
path than what I'm
say,
on.
yeah, completely
And it's a
understandable.
path that the destination is not is not my destination, which is
Right.
fine
They'll
because
deter you off of your path.
exactly. So like everybody, like you said, everybody's on their own path in life. And sometimes, and that's perfectly fine. Like I'm all about acceptance and accepting the fact of like difference of views and difference of religion, differences of diet. Cause hey, you're a vegan. I'm vegetarian, like carnivore, like herbivore, somewhere in the middle.
You
Like
eat the yummy foods. We'll just be
exactly.
completely
So, I mean, it really depends. I could go either way, but at some point, I feel like
yeah,
sometimes I just need that meat.
you
But
eat vegan at my house.
we understand. I like that understanding between
Yeah,
people because
agreed.
that's how I wish the world would be all the time. More understanding.
Yeah, loving and caring. Yeah, and that's amazing point of views and stuff. Um, I think we're hitting all of the areas that you feel like you need improvement with because of the fact, like, well, you chose. So I think you did a good one. All right, guys. So the third way is find a fun way to exercise.
Yay.
Yay. I know you do Zumba.
I do Zumba. I used to do yoga for a bit, and sometimes I'll still go back to yoga, but
Hmm.
Zumba's really what hits it home for me. I
Yeah.
really haven't been very good at exercise lately for like the past year. So, I mean,
Well, that's because you had an injury and stuff. But you
at
do,
this
when you
point, I feel
do
like
the,
it's just laziness at this point now.
okay.
And like
Well, that
trying to
means
find it.
you got to push and get yourself to go, because the fact that you know that that's one of the things that uplifts you and makes you feel a better person and creates growth and strength. And once you're there and you're in it, then you're like,
It's so much
oh, this is
easier.
fun.
I know, and it's
So
so
that's the
much
reason
easier
why,
to do.
yeah. And that's the reason why, like, it's really important and stuff to find something that you actually like, because the fact that you could be dreading it until you walk through those doors and then you're like, "Ooh," and you leave happier and stronger than when you started.
Mm-hmm.
And exercise is not just for our bodies and stuff. It helps with mental health, it helps with physical health, it
Mm-hmm.
helps with personally, I think spiritual health. But I also went back to doing yoga and meditation and outdoor walks and teaching Anthony how to ride a bike, which that one's interesting and fun. He's like, there's too many things to do. And before this moment, I did not realize how many things it takes for you to ride a bike. I was just like, no, get on and do it.
That's how it was for
Like,
me teaching the kids how to swim. Like, I didn't realize how much or how effortless it seems to us. And then trying to teach it to somebody else, you don't realize all of the moving parts until you're teaching somebody to do it.
yeah, it reminds you that that ripples in everything that you do in life. So other grown-ups might be on the same, not the same page where you are, only because they weren't given the knowledge and the tools to be able to see it from your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it also, the other one, it helps with self-esteem. Because fact, like, doing something good for yourself boosts you. Getting doing exercises makes the stress go out, no matter what kind you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then a whole bunch of other amazing things. So the next one is finding ways to ground yourself.
You mean like the type of grounding where I send my kids to the room, right?
Yeah, if you want to apply it to yourself and it makes you a little bit more happy, then go for
Yeah, I
it.
like
No.
being that my room is like my happy place.
Okay. That is, if that is your happy place or your safe place, that is a great way to, a place for you to grow, to do the grounding activities. And no, naps are not one of them.
But naps are great. I feel so much better after
They
a nap.
are. They are. They help with stress. But so the grounding activities, what we're thinking about and stuff, is just bringing ourselves back to the here and now and to not focus on the stress of the future. It could also mean your spirituality. So like you can do yoga like me and Alexandra do. Church is a good one. Actually going and walking outdoors and taking in what the outdoors have to offer. Like, oh, there's leaves falling off of a tree. I see the waves in the water. Being mindful and present is very grounding, because the fact, like, it brings you back to the here and now, so you can fully focus on here and now and not like, oh my God, I effed up in the past, or oh my God, I have so much work in the future. Neither one of those is going to help us. We need to be in the moment to succeed. So, what are some of the ways that you ground yourself?
For me, because I was like reading the article at the same time. So for me, reading, I like to read a lot. Um, I like to read my
That's
smutty
really
romance
grounding.
novels. So I
Yeah.
end up somewhere else that isn't here or in my bedroom. I get taken to many different lands and many different, other things. And, sometimes I like to read articles on the ocean or a certain animal and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But I also, usually when I'm driving, and because, we live in Florida and there is an ocean, just a hop, skip, and a jump in whatever direction you may be, I like to seek out the areas where I can see the open water. So on my way in to drop the kids off for school and to get ready and go to work myself, I have to pass the ocean. So,
Yeah.
and it's the same way for going home. So to catch a glimpse of that and then just see the ocean, just it calms my soul. It calms me and it grounds me into the moment. And anything else could be going on. And that one moment is all it takes for me to snap out of whatever mood I'm in. Either that or like when I'm with my husband and like just snuggling or like in a nice loving embrace or just being quiet and just taking a drive with him. Just having that time one on one without all of the other distractions and taking that extra time just for us because we don't get very much of it grounds me into the then and now. So those are a couple of things that ground me personally. What about you, Charlie?
Yeah. Okay. So synopsis of what you just told me, you like to find the beauty in the small things in the world. I love. And that you like to be present, which is great. Um, so yay, you made me happy.
One of the things I did, two of the things I did right. Two of them, three
You're
and
doing a
four.
lot of them right. You just do them
3 and 4
different.
are great for me. 1 and 2 I need to work on. 3 and 4 are great. I'm great at.
Yeah. So the ways I find grounding is touche. I love to read. And so
The
I
best.
am neurotic when it comes to nutrition. I'll literally read a 600-page book in like 2 days if it's on food. It's so
Different
grounding. It's so
than,
fantastic.
but that's good though
Oh,
that you like stuff like that though.
yeah. Yeah. I used to work in a library. It was my happy place. But I miss the ocean so much. Like, I live in Florida, but the ocean's like 2 hours away minimum. So therefore, it's not a hop, skip, jump for everybody in Florida.
I'm sorry, I forget about you people that live more inland instead of along the coast.
Yeah, we're
So,
northerner Floridas.
yeah, I
Floridians,
forget that you guys
Americans.
don't get that. Yeah, no, that's a
But
requirement for me. I have to be at least 30 minutes away, no more than like an
I
hour.
know. I really want to be able to move back. But so when you don't have an ocean, the ways that I have supplement is gone hiking or just a very nice leisurely walk through the woods when I have a 4-year-old, or going to the
Mhm.
parks and stuff because there's literally you can find beauty in everywhere. Um, one of my friends actually just took me to the Cheesecake Factory and stuff, and they were laughing at me because of that I'm sitting there taking all the pictures of all the pretty designs that I see and patterns and stuff, and I'm like, I'm being so creative. But it was great. It was grounding. It was so amazing being in the here and now and being present in the moment. And then other ways I do is yoga and meditation, which I've been working with Anthony on being more grounded and being more centered and to not be frantic all the time because I'm frantic. It's me. And his little world and personality has like changed to like, okay, mom, we got whatever's been thrown our way. Let's just go namaste and move on.
That's a good way to teach him though. Like that's so great. Cuz
It is.
It's great that Anthony is that way because Ion is actually the complete opposite. Ion is very much my child,
Mhm.
just like Anthony is a little you. Ion is a little me. Because if
Yeah,
something doesn't go his way, oh God, yeah,
he blows up.
yeah, we have
The
a
world has
blow
ended.
up, we have a meltdown. I mean, his younger sister Aria could just be messing with him, and she's an instigator, and she could just be doing something, or she could
Hmm.
not be listening to what he's saying, and oh yeah, no, it. The world has ended. Let's just go back to bed, kind of a
You,
attitude.
I think you and Ion would benefit very much about being mindful okay, and or meditation. And meditation, like the traditional meditation is sitting down cross-legged, eyes closed, and pretty much being bored. You can do other meditations and stuff, especially with small kids. Maybe Anthony's not going to sit in one place. It's not the kind of meditation he does. His meditation is walking and absorbing and thinking and telling me about his day and just being present. So, like, active meditation might be great for you and him. Where you guys don't even have to talk, you can just walk and absorb. When you're
I'll have to
stressed
try
out
that
or
with them.
anxiety, yeah, it works really well with kids because of that, like they're taking out of the situation that is frustrating them and giving them the opportunity to actually think through their thoughts and their emotions instead of suppress them or move on or parents telling them like just stop. Which I know you don't do that, but in today's society and stuff, we're so rushed and focused on getting to the next step. Like
Yep.
we tend to lose focus of like, okay, they do have emotions, we have emotions, we need to learn how to cope with them in a positive way. So
Because they're a
yeah,
smaller person and it's a big emotion that they're feeling. So they don't
right.
necessarily deal with it. And I mean, us adults,
Or
we don't
even know
always
what it is.
deal with it very well.
Yeah.
Imagine that emotion that you're feeling in a small person who hasn't had to deal with that ever before. And now they have to constantly deal with that. So with Ion, usually what we do is I'll tell him, if I see him like having a little freak out. And I know that they do this at school. They tell him to, like he has a quiet corner at school. He can bring a stuffed
Mhm.
animal, just sit in that corner and collect himself, take deep breaths, calm down, come down from that height, that cliff, and then
Mhm.
rejoin the group. And he
Good.
started doing it a lot in the beginning of the year, but I feel like now at school he does it less. He doesn't need it as much because he's learned that coping mechanism, which is really great. So if he's having an issue at home, because usually half the time we have an issue at home, I'll tell him to stop, take a deep breath, just, don't worry about what's going on and just take a couple of deep breaths, and he'll take deep breaths,
Yeah.
and then he'll be like, okay, I'm fine. And I'm like, okay, great, let's try this again.
Yeah. And that's the same way as doing like the walk of meditation. It allows you to take one step further because you can do the deep breaths with it. You can still absorb, you can collect your feelings. And then another one, because Anthony was having great difficulties with expressing themselves. When you're just a tiny person, you don't know what the feelings are. You don't know how to say, go, mommy, I'm frustrated. Mommy, I'm angry. Mommy, I'm sad. We started doing emotion rocks. So I found five or six different rocks, painted them, and put little faces on them. And then I wrote down on the back the word because I want him to eventually be able to see the word and know what it is for advanced future learning techniques.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, here's your emotion rocks. Which one do you feel like in this moment? Like, show mommy. And he'll get me the rock, and I'm like, okay, so you're feeling sad. what is some way we can make you feel happy, or what do you need to make this moment better? And sitting and listening to them means the world to them. And then this actually cites notes into our
Number
final
5.
and last, yeah, thing of finding positive ways to express yourself. All the things that we're talking about, the kids and stuff, they apply to us too. So remember to sit down and actually take a moment, recognize what our feelings are. Don't try to change them, just accept them and allow them to sink in, and then allow you to move through them instead of just squash, because those things are going to just add to the volcano and then you're going to explode. I'm really bad about this.
Yeah, I
I've
felt
gotten a
those
lot better.
today, but I realized the emotions I was feeling. I was like, okay, I know I'm feeling this way. And I was like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. And then I was like, oh, wait, I do know why I'm feeling this way, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't stop it. So there's no point in trying to stop it because these ways that I'm feeling, like how I'm feeling, is validated. Your emotions as
Yeah.
a person, whatever you're feeling, are validated. And
Yeah.
for, with me especially, I have that trouble expressing myself in that aspect. So I have issues not only with creating boundaries, but I have issues with expression and communication, especially with my partner. So to sit here and half the time I bottle it up until it absolutely just boils over and explodes. And then usually it ends up causing a fight because I say fighting words, you never do this, or you never do that, or I'm always doing this and I feel this way. Instead of taking that step, like I tell Ion, stopping, taking a deep breath, and then centering myself, and then coming to it and expressing why I'm feeling that way, or working my way through the emotions in my head, and then coming to the conversation or coming to that person to communicate in a better way instead of using those fighting words.
Yeah. I completely agree and stuff. Like, we we need to find a positive way to express ourselves and to handle ourselves and stuff. Because that, like, emotions, they're irrational. They come and go. They sometimes don't even coincide with what is actually going on or like what the problem is. And it's like recognizing what emotions you're feeling and then thinking of why might actually lead you to exactly where you need to
Mm-hmm.
get to be able to heal and move past to it. And so tonight we're going to add a number 6. But I just thought of this. We're talking about positive emotions and stuff, and you brought up communication. One of the things and stuff is, I know for many of us women, um, we like to go, okay, we move through the emotion or we suppress it, and then we wait for us to explode before handling the situation. For creating a positive relationship, that doesn't do anything. It just aggravates the situation, and it
Yeah.
when you're in a marriage, you have to heal together. When you suppress your stuff and wait until you volcano, you're not even allowing your partner nor yourself to actually learn to heal together. And that's what that's what builds a really bad communication skills. So number 6 is, when you're feeling that way, center yourself, or any kind of way, center yourself and actually talk it through with your partner as soon as possible. Because of the fact, like, no people should be going to bed angry, because you're not going to get good rest. But it's also, if you want to have that positive relationship that's going to be healing and stuff, you're going to need to take those positive steps to allow you guys to heal and grow together and to learn what the other partner needs. And a lot of communication stuff is just misunderstandings. If
Yeah.
you have those communications and like actually talk it out, you'll see, like, okay, this is how I perceived it because my emotions got in hand. This is how they actually meant it. This is what they intended to happen. And then I bet you'll feel a lot better, and then you'll never get the explosion or the burnout. So,
Yes.
And then it also helps you stop being a puppet when you do those things and stuff, because you're not allowing your mind to dictate, or you're not allowing your feelings to dictate your actions. You're allowed to think clearly and uh, communicate yourself expressively. And having those conversations and stuff also allows you to build the healthy boundaries, because for many of us and stuff, we don't even know the boundaries that we personally need until we confront those situations and go like, oh, okay, well, I'll take an example of me. I'm very OCD in like organization and stuff. If my house is a disaster, I explode. So, and my son's the exact same way, thankfully. I'm glad we're not having anybody come in the house, because like that, it aggravates things. But so if the dishes are not put in the sink, I get stressed out. I'll come home, I'll see the dishes all stacked up and stuff and dirtiness, and I'll go like, my house is completely a wreck. I'm not getting anywhere. This is the worst day ever. Before that moment I walked into my house, I bet you it was the best day ever. It was literally, I have this boundary that I personally um, surpassed and suppressed and didn't oblige, that I know is going to do harm to my own self. So it's not just boundaries for other people, it's boundaries for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that kind of help you out with the boundaries, like
Yeah,
how to set them a little bit?
it did, because I know I'm very much the same way. Like if my house isn't in order, and I won't feel in order. And I live with a partner who
Hmm.
doesn't see, he's not OCD like that. Like he's perfectly fine with just kind of like leaving it and then coming back to it later. It doesn't, in his mind, doesn't take precedence, because it's not that it's not important, but it doesn't work in his brain that way. Because I've even told
Yeah.
my kids that, because they're like, well, mom, it's not that big of a mess. And I was like, to you guys in your brain, it's fine. I was like, in my brain, in my body, and don't know how to change it, because there is no way for me to change it. It seems like a very big deal to me. So I'd appreciate it if we respected me and tried to go ahead and keep it a little neater. I was like, I don't expect it. My husband says I expect it to look like no one lives in the house. I don't expect that, but I don't want to have everything cluttered or balled up in a corner or pushed into a
Or
corner.
dirty.
And to me, that does look dirty. Or when he'll take off his clothes, and my oldest is the same way. She'll take off her school uniform and she'll leave it the floor of her room, or she'll put it in her bed and sleep with it in her bed. And I'm like, that drives me insane. I was like, I can't do that. Please, please take your dirty clothes. You know where the basket is. It's 2 steps that way. Please put it in there. I don't want to have to ask every time. I want you to just make a conscious effort to understand that this is a trigger for me. And if you can please just respect me and do this, it helps mommy. And then it makes it so that I don't have as many freakouts or blowouts as they're commonly used to from me, because half the time I feel like my house is a disaster. But you're trying
Yeah.
to fit 5 people, 6 when I have a friend over who stays for a couple of weeks, 6 people's stuff into a what is supposed to be a 2-bedroom duplex, but has an addition in the back, so it's a 3-bedroom. We share one
Mhm.
bathroom. So I've started to divvy up chore charts and other things, and I'm getting better at communicating my needs to other people, to the people in my
Yeah.
house. I'm getting better at that. So that's a boundary that I know I have to set, because if I don't communicate that, then things tend, from my perspective, to look like I'm the only person who's taking conscious effort to do something, even though I
Okay.
know that's not the case.
So in the beginning of this conversation, you said you were only good at 2. We're going to re-clarify. You're good at setting boundaries because you're making cautious effort. You're not where you want to be, but everybody's growing. So we're never going to be where we want to be. Finding a community, you said you were still working on. I can see that, but you do have me, you do have Lucy, and you do have your family. So that's a really good community. Finding a fun way to exercise, you know what it
I
is.
already
You just
know that.
gotta walk to the door and go through it. Okay. Finding a way to ground yourself. You now know how to do that. You just go for that little walk. Remember to take breaths and stuff. But you realized in this conversation tonight that you've been training your son the thing that you need the most. You just got to remember to apply it to yourself. And it's important to lead by example. So that's your challenge this week, is to apply it to yourself and
Yes.
tell me how it goes. Okay? And then find a way to express yourself in a positive manner. You've been doing a really good job at that because of the fact that you are trying to communicate and not blow up.
So
So
happy about myself. I'm doing better than I thought I was. Look at that.
we had this conversation for a reason. I'm glad you chose this topic and stuff so you can see the actual reality of everything that you're doing and everything that you want out of life. You're actually going after it and applying it. And that's literally what learning to climb mountains is, for all of you beautiful people out there. It's recognizing the reality of your situation, what you can do, what you already are doing, and how to plan to even take those small little steps to keep you going in the right direction. So I'm so excited about this conversation tonight.
It turned out a lot better. I feel like it was a good topic. I feel like it was a lot better. It
It,
was a lot easier to talk
it was,
about this than I thought it was going to be.
yeah, and eye opening. So, go Alexandra.
Woo!
And go viewers.
Yes.
All you beautiful women, go conquer your goals. All right, so I'm hoping that you guys like the conversation tonight and stuff. Again, don't forget to hit subscribe, the little bell icon, and thumbs up. Share with your friends, get the word out. Um, we also have our community on Facebook and Instagram, and you can reach out to me and Alexandra through all of it at any point in time. And so we will talk to you and help you work through all of these issues or conquer your goals in any way that you need, just by the click of the chat button. If you do want more in-depth information and stuff, or you're ready to take your life to the next step, don't forget to visit charlieveggiedice.com because there's a whole bunch of tools and successes on there. And for all of those people who are health friendly and stuff, we are and eco friendly, like my best friend Alexandra. Um, we're going to start talking about being zero waste and moving towards a minimalist lifestyle. I realize that's not a complete reality that everybody can do because we do have munchkins and they need things. And then I'm gonna start including more whole food, plant-based recipes and cooking and stuff on there and my YouTube and our YouTube channel. So, Alexandra, how are the rest of your videos going?
I actually had this conversation with my husband the other day. That
Mm-hmm.
I need to get back into it. And I feel like because he's been home, I've wanted to spend more time with him because we don't get to spend a lot of time together. So I've kind of just been
Yeah.
soaking it up at this point. So I'm planning to go back to my lives. I think I'm only gonna do two a month. So I'm gonna do, every other week. That way it's a more manageable goal with everything that's going on lately and all of the different juggling activities between work and the kids in the school and all this other stuff. And then probably in the summer, I'll have a more relaxed time frame because I won't have to worry about that. So I'm hoping to get
Good.
another video up 2 weeks from now. So I've already done most of the research. It's just
Before the
going
end of
back.
July. Good.
Yeah, it's going back. And I'm going to do more research next week when he's at work. So it'll be a little bit easier for me and then go ahead and post a video. I am also going
Hmm.
to create and share it on YouTube. So not only will it be available on my
Hey.
page, Alex the Oceanaut, it's also going to be now I'm going to upload stuff on YouTube. I'm still working on Instagram and still the Facebook page, but hopefully I can do it little by little and
Hmm.
take the steps in the positive direction and move forward because I really want to do that. I know a goal for myself this year would probably be to put out a merchandise line or, within the next couple of years to put out a merchandise line for Alex the Oceanaut because it's something I'm really interested in doing myself. So shirts,
Good.
tumblers, things like that. I'm actually probably going to get one of my friends to make me a tumbler or a shirt because she has a cricket.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, and
exciting.
she's been playing around with it a whole bunch and um she has her own page and her own
Hmm.
business that she started up on Facebook. I think it's Crafty Raptor or something like that. Her name is Amy, and I can't wait to put in an order and then I'll get to wear the shirt and show you all lovely people her lovely handiwork.
That's amazing. Okay, so it sounds like you have really good ideas and goals for this year. I'm so excited to be able to see everything that you do because you realize you're making this goal, but from my experience and stuff, this goal is like a raindrop in a freaking pool. You're gonna have so much success. You just gotta keep taking those little steps and remember how to stop being a puppet.
Yeah, agreed. I think I'm just going to start making little bullet points and sticking them on my mirror on the side of my bedroom. And I'm going to set intention goals for myself each week
That's
to go
great.
ahead and do stuff just a little bit
That's
at a time because I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. And, you know,
yeah,
like
baby steps. They all add up.
the tortoise and the hare, the, slow and steady wins the race, right?
Yes, agreed. So, all of you beautiful women trying to climb those mountains in your heels, go conquer your goals and your dreams and stuff. And we will see you next week. So, bye, guys.
Bye.